All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. The Denver Nuggets just wrapped up a tough season that still saw them advance to the Western Conference semis for the third consecutive year, sixth out of the last seven overall. And of course, this season, the Nuggets had to do it in the face of some very adverse situations. We all know about the Nuggets just prior to the end of the regular season. The decision was made to fire longtime general manager Calvin Booth and head coach Michael Malone with just 3 games left in the regular season. But even with that, we still saw the Nuggets be able to rally. They won a playoff series, and in doing so, they knocked off the Los Angeles Clippers, a tough Los Angeles Clippers team, in round number one. And then we saw them take the Oklahoma City Thunder to the limit as they pushed them to 7 games in a back and forth series. However, you look at this Nuggets team, and of course, there's still some of those key pieces from that championship team from 2 years ago. But if you're Denver and you're looking to get back to winning another championship, in my opinion, there need to be some changes made for this team. And those changes should happen soon. Now, we all know this. The Joker ain't going anywhere. Okay. And I know people are saying, well, the internet, social media, all that stuff is throwing out, well, the Joker should go to the Lakers. The Joker should go here, this, that, and the third. From an outsider's perspective, I think the Joker's happy. I truly do. He's not going anywhere. We're talking about a guy who has 3 MVPs on his mantle, the first non-guard to average a triple double for an entire season, Finals MVP, NBA champion. He's going to go down as one of the greatest players in NBA history, one of the greatest Denver Nuggets, if not the greatest Denver Nugget, when his career is all said and done. And I mean, this guy's going to have a statue, made for him, by the Nuggets, when it's all said and done. To me, I think his foundation is in Denver, basketball wise. Okay, from an NBA perspective. So I really don't think that he's going anyplace unless something drastic were to happen, in my opinion. But with that said, if you're Denver and you have one of the game's greatest players on your roster, clearly, you want to keep building around him in order, to try to stay in that championship mode, while his championship window is still open. Don't get me wrong, the Nuggets have done that. I mean, they put a darn good squad around him 2 years ago to win a championship. There's still some good players around him. It's just a matter of how is Denver going to be able to improve. Uh, we saw the way that Jokic played this year and continues to play, and what he did in the postseason. And you have to wonder, are the Nuggets simply relying too much on the big fella? I think sometimes when you have a great player, sometimes you can take it for granted, but other guys around the Joker have to step their game up as well, in order to get this done. Now, you think about it, in my opinion, Denver needs to get better defensively. They need, maybe an interior big, that can play defense that goes along with the Joker. There's going to be some interesting thing going down for Denver's roster as far as the salary goes. Are they going to try to move somebody this summer? You know, Jamal Murray's set to make $46 million next season. I don't see Denver moving Jamal Murray. Michael Porter Jr., he was dealing with injuries, and it really showed during the postseason. His productivity really dipped during the postseason run for Denver in comparison to the regular season. Would Denver want to move off of him? I don't see the Nuggets necessarily being gung ho to move an Aaron Gordon. So I'm not sure where the changes are going to come from, but there definitely need to be changes made in Denver. I don't see Russell Westbrook coming back. He has a player option for next season. I think if he's going to continue, his chase to get that elusive, NBA championship, he's going to have to do it with another team, in my opinion. We We know that the Nuggets have an emerging player in Christian Braun, but the bottom line is Denver needs more depth. And we saw that play out through the course of that series with the Thunder. They ran out of gas and they simply don't have the depth. And of course, sake of argument, had the Nuggets been able to get past uh, the Oklahoma City Thunder, what would they have had left for the Minnesota Timberwolves for the remainder of their postseason run? I'm not sure if they would have had enough. So again, I think depth has to be high on Denver's focus point uh, heading into the summer. Make no mistake about it, David Adelman, it's his show now. He took over in a very difficult spot for the Nuggets, following the firing of Michael Malone. He was an assistant on Malone's staff for some time now, but the players responded to him clearly. And I think once the Nuggets were going to be a playoff team, but I think once the Nuggets got past the first round, once Denver was able to push OKC to the limit in round number two, a 68 win team, OKC, 68 win OKC team from the regular season. I think, you know what? I really, in my opinion, I think that solidified Adelman's chances as far as coming back full time to be the Nuggets head coach, and that is exactly what we are going to see now. It's one of those where, again, I think the depth has to be a key for the Denver Nuggets. They've got to improve. They've got to improve at the defensive end of the floor. A guy like Jokic, he's a great offensive player. He's not going to be a defensive player, and I'm not saying that to knock him. He is what he is, but nonetheless, they need more interior defense. They need more perimeter defense as well. So I think defensive-minded basketball players is something that needs to be key for the Nuggets over the summer. And like I said, you can't say enough about the depth. The West is a very deep conference to come out of. Period. Okay, you've got OKC, you got the Clippers, you got the Rockets, you got Golden State. You're going to throw Denver right in that mix. Minnesota. We can go right down the list there. So it's all about keeping up with the Joneses, and then again that additional luxury tax apron or salary cap apron, should I say, that's going to really impact a lot of teams in the NBA going into the summer and next season. How are the Nuggets going to be impacted by that? We've got to wait and see. But nonetheless, a trying season is over. And I think going forward, it's going to help that the Nuggets brought back David Adelman, and of course, he and the general manager have to be on the same page. Something that was not the case with Michael Malone and, of course, Calvin Booth. Again, it's all about keeping your star player happy. I think, in my opinion, from an outsider's perspective, that the Denver Nuggets will continue to do that. But it's all about putting the right players around Nikola Jokic to keep that championship window open. Let's see what's next for the Nuggets as they head into the summer months, and let's see how this team can improve heading into next season. But folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. And of course, if you like what you heard and saw, please feel free to hit that like button as well as subscribing to this channel. Like I always say, it is greatly appreciated. Also, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. And you can check it out. Drop a line and be part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. Also, if you're on the Instagram, you can check me out at 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge. You give me that follow, I'll give you that follow right back. But until next time, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, and I'm saying thanks once again for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.